Dave, I can confirm Spencer Rattler's family hates me. They slid all the way into my Twitter DMs to tell me about his fun fourth quarter and how much I suck. Thomas, hit that intro.
Welcome to Saints Happy Hour podcast. We always have a source.
Dave remains quiet because he continues to search for shit that he can't find.
What did Nola Fredo say?
Yeah, try to get saved by Nola Fredo. That's a great strategy.
Now grab a drink and enjoy the show.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Saints Happy Hour podcast. As always, we are presented to you by Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. That's a nice new intro, Thomas. I'm Ralph Marlboro. I'm joined by Dave. Andrew's going to get here whenever the hell he feels like it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks,
like
everybody. Yeah, and thanks, everybody in the chat. We got a ton of people. Jason Champagne, Fresno Saint, Jerry G, Tigmeister, your boy Alan, Tariq, Oppenheimer, just a ton of the regulars. Thank you, guys. Tonight's show, Dave, how much of belief in Spencer Rattler is just Saints fans hating Derek Carr? Is sexy Jake Haener going to ever play in a regular season game again? Cam Jordan rebirth. Defensive line was awesome. Was it Todd Grantham's fault all along? And which old Saints defensive players do you trust the most for 2025? Because most of them are coming back anyway. So, guys, thanks for joining us. As always, if we reach $100 in donations, I'll be drinking something disgusting the patrons have sent me. I got Scatterbrained, PB&J whiskey, and an old classic curveball, but this one is curveball, throw it back, spicy barbecue. So I don't know what that is. Spicy barbecue whiskey. That sounds disgusting. Thanks to you for joining us, Andrew. Dave, you got something fun. Somebody came by the store and like
while we're on the subject of you and your drinking and your mini shots
and my Christmas tie. Look at that Christmas tie.
That is, your wife picked that one out, or was that laid out this morning for you?
It was laid out tonight. Of course it was.
You mean the panties your mother laid out for you? We were don't go full zoom with all this. We don't want people to see what's behind. We don't want people to see what's behind the curtain over here.
Gonna zoom even more, man.
Yeah, there's nothing over here. It's equipment.
The fucking modem.
Yeah, that's right. Here's a little noise maker right here, motherfucker. So I was in the middle of taking in the Tulane jerseys that they're going to wear for the bowl game on Friday. They're in the Gasparilla Bowl on Friday. And we sew the patches, the bowl patches on the jerseys, and we got to get them done before the truck leaves a week before the game. And as I'm handling all of this, I hear lube up, this is happening. And it's a listener, and he's got a bag full of goodies for you, Ralph, that I'm supposed to give to you. He doesn't have your address, and he didn't want your address. I think he said, if I'm remembering now, this was a week ago now. I believe his name is Christian. He didn't want to share his last name, and I thought he said Saints Trifecta was his name. Maybe that's his Twitter handle or whatever. But so in keeping with he gave us a 99 proof grapes.
Oh,
he gave us
disgusting.
a 99 proof and then he gave us a Southern Comfort 100 proof. This is
are you gonna drink one of these tonight, Dave?
No, I am not doing any of these because these were specifically requested to be for Ralph. And this is all in addition to what I gathered when my grandmother died from my grandfather. I have a bottle of Chivas Regal. I have an old. This is the piece de resistance here. This is a bottle of Kahlua that could be literally 20 years old.
Wow,
This could be a cream-based liqueur that is old.
Could be liquid death, is what it is. It sounds
right.
horrible.
And then a little bottle of Malort too.
Yeah.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 bottles from that I got to send you now.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So listen, Andrew. the Saints, they said they're not closing the book on Derek Carr playing. I believe they not only need to close the book for 2024, they need to burn the book for Derek Carr. Let's just do let's have Spencer Rattler for 3 more weeks. But here's my question to you.
Wait. Let's just unpack what you just said, though, because I understand, like, Spencer Rattler came in after Jake Haener first half, came in, got the team back, brought him back. It was great. But if Derek Carr starts the game, are they down, 20-0 or 13-0 or whatever? No. See, that's the thing, is I don't know if they're in as bad a spot to begin with if Derek Carr starts. Like, Jake Haener put them in that hole.
We'll get to poor Jake Haener in a minute. But no, do you think...
Are you talking about the rest of the season, or are you talking about the game that just
happened? Game. I think if Derek Carr would have started, the Saints probably might have won.
Oh, if he was healthy?
Yeah.
You mean if he was healthy for the Washington game?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I mean, I think Washington got complacent. I think they had a big lead. They were winning comfortably. There was probably a little bit of... I had vibes of Saints Tampa in the Super Bowl season a little bit late in the year. Remember, like, the Saints were up like 17-0 and they just got their foot off the gas and they
coasting.
Were like, we got this team. They're toast. And they went on a mini run. And so I don't know. I think if Carr would have been playing, I think it's possible that the Saints would have done more earlier in the game. And, Washington would have taken the Saints maybe a little bit more seriously, and they wouldn't have kind of let their foot off the gas in the second half. So, but yeah, I mean, if you look at the way Haener played alone in the first half, sure, Carr would have been better than that.
I mean, it's hard to untangle this game, Andrew, because on the one hand, Rattler, the last drive, 5 of 6 plus a spike. Yep. Very good. Stood in the pocket, made some nice throws. On the other hand, before that, he was 4 of 14. The Saints did absolutely nothing except for a trick play, and Washington gave them penalties. And if Washington hadn't dropped 2 interceptions and dropped 2 bombs from Jaden Daniels, it would have been a blowout. So it's kind of hard to untangle how good you think Spencer Rattler played. But my question to you is, how much of these last 3 games do you want to see? Are you with me? Do you want to see Spencer Rattler play these last 3 games and just Derek Carr, it's done for you? See him maybe in 2025, or do you want to see Derek?
Sorry, I understood that as your original question. So
sorry, you go ahead.
So I think so. I mean, I definitely don't want to see Jake Haener again. I mean,
oh my God,
like that first half, we're done here. I've seen enough. As far as Carr's concerned, and look, I will say this about Haener. He had some drops. I think they had 14 plays on offense. So let's he was in a bad situation and things didn't go well around him. It wasn't just him. But the thing I noticed about Haener was his drops felt too deep, and he was really struggling with his footing. A lot of times he was falling down before the sack would even get there. And it's man, figure out your cleats, dude. That seems like an
wearing the wrong cleats. What I thought.
Yeah. So, but Haener struggled. Rattler came in. Clearly it was the right decision. Rattler made some things happen. So yeah, I think so many people are in such a rush to define what he is. And I think so many were writing him off after the first 3 starts, being okay, never mind, he sucks. Let's start Haener. And then now he had that fourth quarter drive and at the end of the game, and everyone's let's cut Carr. He's the next starter for us. Start him in 2025. And I think both are kind of extreme, and that's not surprising. That's how Twitter works. We know that. But yeah, I would say that overall, I still feel like Rattler wasn't great.
He
wasn't very accurate. He missed some throws. He the big thing for me was that the 2 field goal drives. Well, first of all, the touchdown pass at the beginning of the game, the halfback, when Rattler first started, it was like a gag trick play, right? So that's how they got the first touchdown. Then there was 2 drives that both settled for field goals, and Fowler was a huge component in both of those
That's
drives
right.
with horrible penalties. They were stupid. And so that wasn't necessarily things Rattler was doing. That was just like the Commandos just shooting themselves in the foot and having stupid penalties. The last drive was awesome, but I'll be honest with you, Ralph. I always that was never really in question for me with Rattler. I know he can make plays off script. I know he can run the 2-minute drill. I know that when you kind of ditch the playbook and it's like, all right, just make things happen.
Let it rip.
Let it rip. I know Rattler can look good in those moments. So for me, it's really about show me you can execute a game plan. And that's that is what I want to see more of. So I want to see him start these next 3 games or however long Carr is out. And I don't necessarily need to see Carr. I haven't written Carr off. I'm certainly not of a position that we need to move on from Carr at this point. But yeah, let's watch Rattler. Let's see how he does. Let's see if he can improve over these next few starts, and then we'll go from there.
Dave, this is from Tariq. If Rattler is bad the next few games, do we start calling him Timu Mahomes?
Nice.
I mean, I feel like I can't do that. I've got 4 family members. I got 4.
That was a terrible joke.
4 family members in my DMs. They'll come after me.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Let's talk about that. Can we get some details about that?
I had multiple family members.
Who's up in your DMs? What members of Spencer Rattler's family?
Share your DMs, Ralph.
Close family
Rattler one of one,
and extended family members, all in my DMs, all quote tweeting me, all telling me that sacks are irrelevant and that his first 3 games he played with a crappy offensive line and that's why he got sacked, and this game he played with the starting offensive line and that's why he was better and didn't take any sacks. And I said, well, if that's true, why did Jake Haener get sacked 30% of his dropbacks? And then they started to just tell me to bleep off and disappear. But Dave,
don't come at them with facts.
Well, here's my thing, Dave. I genuinely believed that the Saints were going to win the football game. I was like, it was 20-14. I'm like, the Commandos have screwed around so much that the Saints are going to go down here, score, go for 2 and win. And then the Saints get the break at the end where the referees botched the clock. I was.
What? So what the hell happened? The
refs didn't start the clock. They didn't start the clock on time, and people are saying that the Saints wouldn't have got they wouldn't have been able to spike it, is what they were saying.
So wait, when didn't they? Because none of this was evident to us in the stadium at the game. Yeah. So at what point did the clock stop?
It stopped at 9 seconds, and it stopped for 3 seconds, and it should have kept running, right?
Really?
Yeah.
While it was running, that was while they were setting up to spike the ball.
That's right. Andrew, did you have the same confidence?
And there was no. Well, hold on. Wait. So you're telling me? I mean, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here, but I mean, you're telling me that the clock just mysteriously stopped.
Yes.
While the Saints were out of timeouts. Yes. And were scrambling to stop the clock.
That's right.
I mean, is that not suspicious to you?
I mean, you want to tell you don't. I'm a Saints fan. You don't need to tell me refs are terrible. I understand it. I just
is this enough to be even? Well, we didn't get the win.
No, we didn't get the win.
But had we gotten the win, was that enough to get even for the no call?
No. Canu to you says this is a 5-19. Get real. I'm more interested in Kevin getting laid than I am in a win.
Well, I didn't do the post game thing, but I texted this to you guys, and just big picture, macro picture, zooming out,
making it rain.
Honestly, the way this game unfolded is to me, best case scenario. You had your team. you made an adjustment. You had your coach who's I don't think he's going to be the coach next year, but you had your coach who made an adjustment at halftime, saw your starting quarterback was not the right guy on this day, brought in your other guy. He had what it takes. You come back, you go for 2. I think that's the right call. I like the call. And you don't, but
real quick, Dave, I love that he made that switch at halftime because DA would have never had the
sure. I agree. I totally agree with that. DA was never that malleable. He would have never made
sexy Jake Haener die.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Die on the vine. He would have been dying on the vine out there. But I agree with you. But honestly, like, again, you saw a lot of grit from your team. You saw a lot from Rattler. But at the same time, so you still kind of have, even though you didn't get the win, you got positive vibes. But at the same time, you lost the game, which is technically, I don't like to say it, nobody's trying to tank games out here. We definitely tried to win that game, but honestly, you're better off losing. You get a better draft pick. You're a little bit lower in the standings. I don't think that I know the NFC South is kind of still up for grabs, and it's a
not
shit show.
Not for the Saints anymore.
In some ways, like, this was the best case scenario.
It was.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
We stay in the top 10. We got to see Rattler. We got to see Kendre Miller. Like, the Saints entertained us. It was a fun game. It was exciting right up until the
Everybody
end.
wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
Real quick. Do we have a breaking news siren? Can we play that real quick?
Yeah, we got breaking news.
Go ahead.
Hit the breaking news, Thomas.
There it is.
I love this. This might be the worst free agent signing of all time.
Here we go.
$50 million a year quarterback Kirk Cousins has just been benched by the Atlanta Falcons. They're going with Michael Penix as their starting quarterback. Ralph, what if he's bad too? Oh my God, this is amazing.
Dude, if Michael Penix loses to the Giants on Sunday, God help me, I might spontaneously combust from happiness.
I'm sure that's why they're making this decision now. They're like, okay, we got the Giants.
We'll play him against the Giants.
This is the best chance for our rookie to get a win and get some confidence.
Also, oh shit, we just beat the Raiders 15-9. Kirk Cousins might actually lose to the Giants.
I mean, listen, if they cut Kirk Cousins, that means they'll have spent $90 million for 1 year of horrible Kirk Cousins. Amazing. And if they post June 1st cut him, it's still going to be a $35 million hit and a $30 million hit the next 2 years. Like, that contract was horrendous. And it's hilarious to me, both the Jets and Atlanta, most experts, Andrew, were like, oh, the Achilles, it'll be fine. Yeah. It'll be okay. Like, 35-year-old quarterbacks that are with a blown out Achilles, it's over. Like,
well, I don't really understand what happened to him, because like the first 9, I just saw a stat. Hold on, I'll pull this up. But it was like the first 9 games of the season, he had 17 touchdowns and 7 picks in the first 9 games. Over the last 5 games, he has 1 touchdown and 9 picks. So I don't know if it's just like the atrophy of the season and maybe he's banged up and we don't know. But
I can explain it.
That's crazy to me. He's fallen off a cliff.
I can explain it. If you take the Tampa Bay games out, he's an abject disaster and maybe a bottom 3 quarterback in the league. Like he just
torched Tampa.
He torched Tampa. I want to say 10 of those touchdowns are Tampa.
Is getting benched after a win like getting fired on your day off?
It's a great question, Dave.
$20 interception. We are halfway
Dave, you're a business owner. Is that a good question from Who Dat Golfer?
What was the question? How do you get fired on your day off?
Is getting benched after a win like getting fired on your day off?
Yeah. I'm a business owner, but I have never been fired, so I
you can't speak.
I can't speak from experience.
Back to Rattler.
I don't do a lot of firing.
Andrew, I'm willing to take
Allegedly.
the bullets. I'm willing to take the bullets from the Rattler family in my DMs. How much fun will it be if Penix is terrible against the Giants? Unlikely, but possible.
Phoenix.
And Rattler is good against.
I don't think it's unlikely. I think
Rattler
like
is
a
good
50,
on Monday night against Green Bay.
I think there's a 50-50 chance that Penix is terrible.
I do too. I mean, yeah. And he's had so many injuries in college.
And isn't he old?
Well, I mean, he's like 25. He's old for a rookie, but he's not that mobile. He's a pocket guy. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We'll see how Atlanta does. Their schedule these last 3 weeks. It's 3 games left, right? There's 3 games.
Yeah.
Is very soft. I mean, they have a very easy schedule, so it's a good opportunity for him to look good against some very mediocre teams. And I think probably for Atlanta, it's like, look, if we run the table and Tampa does too, because Tampa's schedule is soft, then we lose the division. I mean, the Falcons do still have to play the Commanders, but if they lose, 1 out of the next 3, that they're probably not going to win the division, but like it's a pretty soft schedule. And it's not like the Commanders have a great defense, right? The Commanders are a decent team, but that's more like, what Jaden Daniels has been able to do. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how he plays. I'm with you. I think it's 50-50. I really do think there's the potential that he looks even worse than Cousins.
I'll make this commitment to the people.
I mean, he's a rookie.
Yeah. I'll make this commitment to our listeners and our patrons. We're doing a live stream because next week is Christmas. We're not doing a show on Christmas Eve. We're just doing the show next week will be live after the Green Bay game. We're just going to do a live time. We're going to do it live. That's going to be the show for next week. If Spencer Rattler throws more touchdowns than Penix this week, I will do 2 Malta boots of hard high strawberry whiskey on the live stream next week.
I'm in for that. Sign me up.
It doesn't matter if the Saints win. Rattler throws more touchdowns.
Right. Right.
I'll do it. I feel good about it. Speaking of
that would be like this week. Would be like a Pyrrhic victory where maybe the Saints lose, but Rattler still throws more touchdowns, and so we get the joy of watching you take shots, but also the joy of knowing the Saints still get a top 10 pick in the draft.
Andrew, I have a question for you. This is tricky. If I said to you, would you rather Michael Penix and Spencer Rattler both be
Penix? It's Penix.
Penix. Would you rather Penix and Spencer Rattler both be average quarterbacks? They can both be Derek Carr quality quarterbacks, or they could both be terrible. Which one do you pick?
Oh, it's not even a question. Both be terrible. Like I mean, sorry, Spencer Rattler. And yeah, like I want to find our quarterback. So it would be, but like a 5th round. I mean, we got to look at this just like high level here from like 30,000 foot view. Like if Penix is terrible, that's the 8th overall pick.
Penix. It's Penix. It's
right,
Penix.
Ralph's got
you pronouncing it incorrectly.
That's the 8th overall pick on the heels of a $150 million contract quarterback in Cousins. Like, if you blow both of those, that's way worse than a 5th round. Like a 5th round pick that sucks. Like, yeah, of course.
You don't want to be blowing Penix. You don't want to be blowing Penix.
You don't want Penix to blow it. So anyway, I would much rather both of them be terrible, and then we'll just go try to find another quarterback again. I would definitely sign up for that. I will say, I know Penix, I know he got taken 8th overall, and I know that Rattler was in the 5th round, and I know that Penix had a way better collegiate career statistically. His team went much further and had more success, but like I remember looking at these two as prospects and like I just don't think much separates them. If you were just to look at them and evaluate them based on like the combine and their strengths and weaknesses, and I don't know, man, like I just don't feel like there's a 4-round difference in the talent of these two players.
The Penix debate was very heated. It was very heated because like
a controversial pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Like some people had him like a
9
second
inches. Some
or
people had
third round pick.
inches.
Yes.
Yeah. Like some people had him and Bo Nix as like second, third round guys. So like picking him 8th, like not only was it like, what are you doing? You just gave Kirk Cousins $180 million. It was like, why are you picking this quarterback 8th?
Right. Yep.
Well,
so
it's the Falcons. It's the Falcons. This could sit back and grab a drink. This could end up being real good.
Speaking,
we might really enjoy the show here.
I really thought for a second last night watching the Falcons that they were going to lose.
I did too. Oh my God.
It came pretty close. And so
I wasn't watching that game.
I will say, as we get late into the season and the Saints are eliminated, like hate watching the Falcons is more entertaining.
I had the Falcons
really delivering.
I had the Raiders plus 220 on the money line.
Nice.
And I like when Ritter got the ball back, I felt really good about it. I was like, I think I even said on Twitter, if the Falcons win, I'll donate my winnings to charity. And I would have. But they didn't.
You mean if the Raiders had won?
And if the Raiders had won, I would have donated the money to charity. So,
I mean, it's possible that he goes off and Falcons fans are super excited, and that is winding their sails going into next year if they don't win the division. But man, in the scenario where he absolutely sucks, I just like that will, as a Saints fan that hates the Falcons, like that will make the rest of my season really enjoyable.
Oh my God. If he's bad for like these last 3 weeks, you talk about Atlanta where they're like, we didn't win the division.
Quarterback this year.
We didn't win the division in a year we went all in for it. The quarterback we drafted instead of improving our defense is bad. We don't even like our coach. We don't even like our general manager. Their offseason will be so long and so cold. I cannot wait.
I actually am going to throw out a hot take here. Sure, are the Saints mathematically still in it?
Yes, they are.
Yes. They're not officially eliminated. Okay.
No.
Short of the Saints, like they went out and a bunch of teams lose out and A, X, Y, Z, everything happens. The stars align. Short of the Saints making the playoffs, my hot take is that there is nothing the Saints can do for the rest of the season. Nothing. I'm not Rattler throwing for 15 touchdowns. Like there is nothing that can happen over these next 3 weeks that will entertain me more and make me more excited than Michael Penix being terrible.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're not kidding. Like they flexed Falcons Washington to Sunday night. You talk about a Sunday night after Christmas where you get to watch Penix be terrible.
Yeah, throw 4 picks.
Give me all the math.
There's nothing the Saints could do. Nothing. They could beat the Raiders 100. They could break the NFL record, score 75 points, win 75-0 against the Raiders. It would not top Penix being awful.
Yeah,
it wouldn't.
So I'll tell you what is awesome is Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. It is a strawberry flavored whiskey blended with aged wheat whiskey, American light whiskey, Cocktail and Sons, strawberry and lemon syrup, fresh strawberries from Jonesdale Farm in Ponchatoula, Louisiana. It's 86 proof. The whiskey is blended and bottled at the Sugarfield Distillery in Gonzales, Louisiana. You can pick up a bottle wherever fine spirits are sold in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and Tennessee. To learn more and to find a location to get a bottle near you, go to hardhidestrawberrywhiskey.com. Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey is supporting Saints Happy Hour all football season through the 2025 draft. So support the people who support the show. Grab a bottle of Hard Hide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey today. I want to give a shout out to my man, John at Hard Hide. He's been under the weather. He's fighting through it. We're thinking of you, John. Glad you're on the mend. All right. Next question, Dave. Cam Jordan, rebirth. He had 2 sacks. The Saints defensive line had 8 sacks, right? Which is awesome. Was it Todd Grantham's fault all along? The defensive line has been terrible.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or DA, right?
Maybe. You can always blame DA.
Yeah, I don't know. The sample size is small, but yes, you could extrapolate the evidence and the sampling currently, and maybe make a case like you're saying, Ralph, that maybe maybe we're on the come up here. I'm not so sure about that. The bit about Cam Jordan, I think the fact that the whole team has got a lot of sacks in the last game, I think that has something to do with Cam Jordan, doing well. Like, obviously,
they have
like
more sacks this year now than they did last year.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's very good. But like if you told me the Saints, only had 3 sacks, but Cam Jordan had 2 of them, then that would be more meaningful to me, because that would mean sacks were at a premium and Cam Jordan was the one that's getting them. But right now, what you're telling me is, the last few games, they've really been getting a bunch of sacks, and Cam Jordan's getting a few of them. So as far as Cam Jordan's concerned, I don't think this means anything. I'm not sure that it means he's having a resurgence. I don't think we should be spending a ton of money, giving him a long-term contract next year. But it is good to see them trending in the right direction as far as overall and total sacks and everybody else and getting in on there. And yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah, if Cam Jordan is getting sacks, that's certainly a good thing. That's a good sign.
Andrew, listen, it was weird. The defensive performance, I don't want to crap all over the Saints, because look, they played hard, they hung in there, they made plays, but Washington missed a bunch of touchdowns and had a bunch of penalties.
Terry McLaurin could have had 3 more touchdowns.
So, but Andrew,
I think Jaden Daniels just overthrew McLaurin again just now, right now.
He did. Fantasy people just there's fantasy playoff people that are just dying because of that.
Well, I mean, I'm being serious, and just real quick, and this is off subject, but it's off subject, but not off subject. But going back to the whole 2-point conversion thing, I think that's another reason why you go for 2. The Saints could have easily gotten their asses kicked in that game. I think they were lucky to even be where they got to at the end of that game. 100%. And I think you go to overtime, you're one, Jaden Daniels finally connects.
100%.
Let's get Kevin Stinky.
Terroric 28.3 becoming the new AVP leader. We are almost $15 away.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you go to overtime. Jaden Daniels finally completes one of those.
There's no scenario where I want Jaden Daniels with the ball again.
No, I mean, you could make the argument that we got very lucky that, that he had maybe an off day.
Yeah,
and he wasn't, though. He was pretty locked until the fourth quarter. Those misses came in the fourth quarter. They surprised me a little bit in the sense that I've seen him make those throws at LSU 100 times, and he was cooking us with his legs and his arm for the first 3 quarters. And I was surprised he missed those, but I will give kudos to the defense again. When you sack a quarterback 8 times and you're hitting him a bunch that's when they tend to get inaccurate.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good
and here's
might
the
not
thing,
have been an accident.
And here's the thing that I was talking about with Rattler. I don't care if you're Mahomes or Jaden Daniels or whoever. A sack is almost the equivalent of a turnover, because it's
Oppenheimer getting us over the edge with $15. All
right, so
donation.
So who's the leader?
Donation message. Only real Mensa leave Tulane for Duke.
That's right.
Who's the MVP leader?
So what am I doing?
Terroric is the MVP leader. Maybe let me do.
Don't even get me started on that.
Wait, Ralph. Let me thank everyone who donated, because I didn't have the occasion. So first, Badwich donated $5 with donation message. Gold members Zoom Thursday after Christmas? Question. Then Jason Champagne 12.83 buckaroo donation. Carr is broken down. Rat dat. Then Oppenheimer $2. That was the makeup call for the no call. Then went the Cavalier $15 donation. Oppenheimer $2 donation. Falcons pulling the Phoenix out for the world to see. And then we saw the donations. So thanks, guys.
So what am I doing? Am I doing the PB&J, peanut butter and raspberry? It's 70 proof, Andrew. I know you care about that. And then the spicy curveball barbecue vodka. I mean, barbecue.
No, barbecue
whiskey.
for sure.
Whiskey. That's
Barbecue
90.
for sure. The PB&J sounds like delicious. That sounds good.
But the barbecue is only 40 proof. No, I'm sorry. The it's 70 proof as well.
Barbecue.
Wait, so those are the two choices, and they're both
Those are the
70
two
proof?
choices.
Yeah, do the barbecue whiskey.
God.
How is barbecue whiskey only 35% by volume? I've never heard of a whiskey that's less than 40. Less than 80 proof. Surprised.
Oh God! Smells like a smells like a chimney. Fuck. Here we go.
Down the hatch. Oh, the gulp. My favorite part.
Did you just spit some out?
I had a reversal of fortune, Dave. It was worse the second time down.
He's suffering.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, wash it down with some hard hide. What are you drinking? What's that? Hard hide and what?
Hard hide and strawberry lemonade. Now my mouth tastes like an ashtray. That's an 8. Like, and I gotta say, like, the reversal of fortune, that makes it sneaky bad. Like, it was bad. So thanks, guys, for donating. We appreciate you. Andrew, listen, we talked about Rizzi when he got the job. We were like, hey, you gotta improve some stuff, right?
Right.
Listen, the Saints, I know Washington had a bunch of rushing yards, but a lot of that was Jaden Daniels scrambling. The second straight week in a row, Saints run defense came to play and shut Washington's running backs down. Do we start to give
and the field goals and the field goals?
Well, the field goals.
Opponents cannot kick field goals against us now. Yeah. We have some sort of Rizzi force field around us. It's incredible.
Honestly, if you could promise me that opposing kickers would kick like 28% success rate against the Saints next year, like Rizzi, you got the job done.
I mean, that could be a big that might win you 2 games. Like you're going to have at least in a 17-game season, 2 games are going to come down to field goals.
100%.
And if you're going to tell me, 2 of those games we can win because the other team's either going to miss a field goal or we're going to make something ridiculous happen in special teams where we win the game. That might be worth it. I mean,
and not only that, like you can't make field goals against Rizzi, but he's like ruined coup for Atlanta, all-time Saints killer. Like
we broke that motherfucker. We are living in that in his rent-free in his head.
I mean, he's broken. He missed a kick yesterday.
You know what's crazy is the Saints are 5-9 this year, but they're -3 in point difference. They're -3. So obviously those missed field goals, like imagine if a bunch of them had been made, they would be even worse potentially. But you look at like Seattle's at +2, right? And Seattle's an 8-6 team.
Yeah.
And they're just +2 points differential. Cincinnati is +12 and they have a losing record. They're 6-8. Houston, who's 9-5, they're +28. So like all these teams are like right around that. And like you said, Dave, missed field goals, like that's 2 or 3 games. Yeah, and it worked out for Washington, so no one cares. But like kicking that field goal by Dan Quinn at the end of the game was egregious because it's like, if you miss, the Saints only have to go 56 yards. If you punt, worst case scenario, it's in the end zone. They have to go 80 with no time. Like the fact that he tried that field goal kicker which by the way, with a kicker who was new because their regular kicker is injured. Like it was just, Yeah. You got to be able to make. If you're an NFL kicker, though, 54 yards in a dome, like man. I remember when I was a kid, a 50-yard field goal indoors, wherever, was a goddamn magic trick. Yeah, crapshoot. Yeah, it was like Morton Anderson was like, "Oh, he kicked 4 out of 10 from 50 yards. He's a magician." Now it's like you only made 4 out of 10. We're cutting you. Yeah. Andrew, here's a question: the Saints. We mentioned it before with Cam Jordan, and Dave talked about it. Yeah, Cam Jordan was good. Demario Davis was good.
You still got Tyrann Mathieu. These old defensive players for the Saints, most of them are probably going to be back. Cam Jordan might not be because he's only got $1.5 million guaranteed, but Honey Badger is going to be back. Yeah. Demario Davis is going to be back. Which of these old Saints defenders do you trust the most heading into 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I think all three of them are over the hill. Mm-hmm. Am I allowed to say Taysom Hill? Is that
you could? I mean, he doesn't play defense, but he could.
Yeah,
Taysom over the.
I guess of the three, I would keep Honey Badger because it's the position that he plays. Like he's not a great tackler, but he studies the film. He's a very smart, heady player. He's a playmaker. He knows how to jump routes and make a play. So, I mean, we've seen this, right? Like Rod Woodson and Charles Woodson, like some of these free safeties in the twilight of their career, like Darren Sharper with the Saints. Like you still see these old, heady free safeties that understand the game so well that they can still make plays. And I just feel like them getting older and declining is less damaging than when you're a pass rusher or you're a middle linebacker. Like I feel like you got to kind of be at the tip top of your game physically. And I feel like you can age maybe a little bit more gracefully at free safety because, well, A, you're not necessarily taking the pounding, and B, you've got guys around you to kind of, a free safety is a ball hawk that they can kind of roam and move around a little bit. So I guess I would say and Matthew, I mean, is a little bit younger than the other two.
That's right.
But yeah, I would say that I think we've clearly seen declines from all three. And, look, I don't want to say anything bad about these guys on this podcast. Like Demario Davis is the best free agent signing the Saints have ever had, not named Drew Brees, like of all time. And Cam Jordan, I mean, have we had a better draft pick? Is he the greatest draft pick of all time in Saints history?
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, I think
Colston might be up there.
I think he's gonna go to Canton. Here's my question about Cam Jordan, Dave.
Is Cam Jordan the best first round pick in Saints history?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Because you just said Colston, Dave, and I was going to throw out Jari Evans. Like
Colston's great because of the value.
Right.
Ricky Jackson, second round pick. He's in the
second round pick, right? Yeah. So like Willie Roaf. That's it. That's the list. It's Willie Roaf. Right. Or
what about Andrew Speed? Come on, man. You can't forget about Andrew Speed. Come on.
Right, nice.
Here's my question about Cam Jordan, Dave. You mentioned it before. He's only got $1.5 million guaranteed for next year. I kind of want Cam Jordan to be great these last 3 games and retire and go be great on TV. And then we'll have this warm, sort of fuzzy feeling about his ending where like we have a lot of Saints players like Colston and other guys like Mark Ingram. They didn't like the ending wasn't great. Like if Cam could go in these last 3 games and get like 3 more sacks and end the season with like 6 sacks, 7 sacks, that'd be awesome. And I feel like that would be a great way for him to end it. I kind of want him to be great this last month and not come back. Does that make me a bad person? And what do you feel about Cam Jordan?
No, I don't think it makes you a bad person. And honestly, like even if he doesn't do anything these last 3 games, he's had a decent, this last few games he's been okay.
I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to see. You always hate to see people come back and play after they should have retired, and then it's like really depressing. And you feel bad for them, it's always better to see them go off on a high note. And it is really. Look, I don't think Cam's not going to go to another team. Like, one, I don't know if another team's going to pay him a lot of money, but 2, even if they did, I don't see Cam.
I think he's going to go to TV and he's going to go to TV and make decent amount. Like
he's definitely either going to finish with New Orleans and play with New Orleans, or he's going to, like you said, he's going to go on to the next phase of his career. He's definitely not going to.
What do you guys?
He's
think
not going to go on and play a year for the Falcons.
What do you guys think about the possibility that Cam's like, I'm not done. Like, I don't want to retire. I want to go one more year. And he tells the Saints,
that's fine.
Like, yeah, give me whatever role you want, and I will take a pay cut.
I could see that.
And I'll be a situational pass rusher. Like, I have more to give. I don't know. I don't. I
could see that happening.
I
could easily see that happening.
Based on what I've seen from Peyton Turner and Isaiah Foskey this year, like, I'm not really that concerned with relegating him and preventing those guys from getting on the field. You know what I mean?
Foskey's still on the team?
Right.
No, I don't rule that out at all. But I do see, to answer your initial question, I mean, I guess I do see him being involved in football for the rest of his life in some capacity. If it's not in the booth somewhere, then maybe it's coaching or mentoring or doing something. He's too good. He's too good of a guy on the field. He's too good of a guy off the field. To just fade off into the sunset and to never be heard from again.
I just think with Cam,
that would be a crime.
When he's after this year, it's going to be like, oh, I can go to NFL Network and make $4 million a year, or I can go to the Saints and play another year and make $4 million. Do I want to put my body through that for the same amount of money? I don't know how you feel about it. So I don't
see, like, in that situation. I mean, yes, his body, I'm sure he's taking his body into consideration, but given his veteran role and like Andrew was saying, like, I'm sure he can work out a deal where, like, he's not, he gets every Friday off. He's only practicing 3 days a week instead of 4 days a week, blah, blah,
right.
That kind of stuff. And I don't think it's necessarily so much as that. I think it's more about, like, as many years as you can get being in a locker room with a team like that. Like, once that's gone, that's gone. Like, you can never go back to that. You never get the team camaraderie. You never get the locker room atmosphere. You never get the traveling, all that kind of stuff, the hotels, all the stuff that comes along with it. Once that's gone, it's gone. And I think Cam's obviously old enough and mature enough to realize that. And so in the situation you're talking about, where it's like I can either do one more year in the NFL, or I can start I have to think his mindset is I can start my announcing career a year later. Like, that's always going to be there. That will always be there.
Oh yeah.
2 years from now, I'm not going to be able to be on this team and be with these guys in this locker room and all that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you what's also maybe not going to be here. The hotline. Dave.
Oh no.
Your baby,
after that game.
I mean, after that game, it was sad. It was sad. Like, so few calls. People do better. So Thomas, play the hotline. It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour Hotline.
Man, I miss Sean and Drew so much in that first half. It made me want to start doing Vicodin just to honor the greatness that we saw. So I did, and then I didn't even get to see anything in the second half. I didn't get to enjoy any of it. So at least Spencer looked good, I guess.
Gentlemen, it's Adam, the radio voice from the Eastern Shore of Maryland, sandwiched right in between Commander and Raven Country. So that game, sexy Jake Haener got ugly real fast. God bless that kid. I think his dream of being a Saint is over. Spencer Rattler did well, did okay. Not too shabby. So we have 3 games left. Here are my 3 wishes. 1, do not get embarrassed on national TV by the Green Bay Packers. They are on a roll. God help us, they're on a roll. Against the Raiders, I want Derek Carr to start. I want a 42-17 drubbing to end the season at home on a high note. Do that. The 3rd wish, last game against the Buccaneers, I want shenanigans. I want trick plays, Statue of Liberty, reverse, flea flickers, all that stuff. Just backyard football. Just have fun. Appreciate you guys. Who dat?
My boy Rizzi he said, I'm bringing the motherfucking king, the fucking rat king of New Orleans, man. And he started bawling out. He's like Jeebus. He's like fucking reborn and shit, man. So he's going to come back next year with the fucking rat king. Derek, pack your bags. We're going with the rat king, baby. We are going to be the king of the trash heap next year. We're in this shit to win it, and we might even, I don't know how we're technically still in the hunt. That's some bizarre mathematical bullshit, but I hear what y'all got to say Tuesday. Dave's probably going to be full of shit, and Jude's too, but, you know, it'd be like that later.
Well, I'm glad that the Commanders won. Screw you.
Boo.
Wow.
Was that
Dave,
your
get
son,
your kids-
Dave?
Dave, get your kids in line. Get your kids in line.
Unbelievable. When he says "screw you," who is he talking to? Is he talking to Dave? Is he talking to us, Ralph? Is he talking to the Saints?
I don't know.
What did you do to your son, Dave?
Thomas, clip that first call. That's Hall of Fame quality. I miss Drew and Sean so much.
The Vicodin one?
The Vicodin one.
Yeah, the calls weren't bad. We just only had 4 calls, so you know.
Yeah. So we got the uncensored version.
You mean 3 of the 4 were good?
Yeah, the uncensored version for patrons. If you want to listen to them, if you want to listen to the uncensored version, become a patron. Go to patreon.com/SaintsHappyHour. Click the link in the description. Thomas, I'll put it in there. We're giving away 15 freaking free silver level subscriptions, courtesy of Hardhide for people that aren't patrons. 2 months. John at Hardhide is like 15 of them.
Jeez.
Wow.
Give them away. I got you. So if you're not a patron, click on that link. You get, boom, 2 months for free. Do it. It's amazing.
Also, just go buy some Hardhide. Support our sponsors.
Yeah,
Seriously.
support
It's the holidays. It's the holidays. You're going to be with your family. You're going to need something to drink.
Just do it.
So the Saints Happy Hour viewer questions are brought to you by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. You can pick up a bottle wherever fine spirits are sold in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and Tennessee. To learn more and to find a location to get a bottle near you, go to hardhidestrawberrywhiskey.com. Thomas, take it to the top.
Look at that.
Finger guns. All right, Thomas, what's first up?
All right, first question comes from Bulky, and he asks, let me turn this down a bit. He asks, how much sex appeal did Sexy Jake Hainer lose with that performance?
All of it.
It's a toss-up for me because, on the one hand, his performance wasn't great. He looked small out there. He looked like he was getting swallowed up by those D linemen. He didn't seem to be doing a good job of avoiding getting sacked. But at the same time,
you know what that interception looked like, Dave? That interception was like full Jameis. It was like Jameis Winston without the arm. So like it was like as if Jameis Winston tried to do something, but he didn't have the physical ability to pull it off. That's what that looked like.
And by the way, the Jameis experience ended for Cleveland like it ends for every team with Jameis.
Oh yeah.
In tears.
That train went off the rails big time over there.
Every Jameis experience ends the same way for every fan base. But you don't really regret it. It's
Death,
like
taxes, and Jameis.
Yeah.
It's one of those things everybody does in college.
To be fair, like PFT mentioned on Pardon My Take, he prayed for the Lord to deliver him from pick sixes. And he did not throw any pick sixes in this last game. And in fact, 2 of them were deep in his end zone, his opponent's defending end zone, which is as far away from a pick six as you could get. So the praying, by all, apparently it appears like the praying maybe worked.
Yeah.
So I will say that. And again, that's not me. That came from the genius mind of
And God doesn't always give you what you want, but he gives you what you need.
It's his case that God exists.
That's right.
Yeah, right. That's right. Wait, no, your original question, though, was about what was the original
Jake
question?
Hainer.
I did have an answer for this.
How long does
that's right. I was in the middle of talking. Right, Jake Hainer. Yeah, it didn't look good out there in so much as football was concerned, and he looked small out there. He got swallowed up. He was he threw the interception, but I will have to say though, he also looked amazing in those black pants. Like, how did he get into those? They were so tight on him. He looked like he was playing the role of Peter Pan in some production. I mean, like, how long does it take for him to get out of those after the game? Those things were painted on. Holy Christ! It's like when you go to the beach and those women have the painted on bikinis. It looked like somebody came and just sprayed his pants on.
He looked like Olivia Newton-John.
That wasn't real fabric.
He looked like Olivia Newton-John in Grease, where they had to. You don't put them on; they sew them on. Yeah,
that was wild.
Maybe Jake Haener, his sexiness can never be defeated. No matter what happens, we'll always have his sexy, sultry photo shoot. That'll live forever.
We will. I like how the Saints Reddit went and photoshopped some like makeup and eyeliner on some of his photos. They added like some butterfly wings to one of his sexy photo shoot photos.
Yeah, that's nice and all.
They've memed him up.
You know who doesn't need eyeliner photoshopped? Derek Carr. A real quarterback doesn't need it photoshopped.
Yeah.
What's next?
BYOE.
Yeah. What's next, Thomas?
All right, next question from Saints Rabbit.
Or G. I don't know. BYOG guyliner. I don't know.
Nice.
Saints Rabbit asks, speaking of backup QBs, which former Saints backup QB would you wish we had right now?
Oh, I know the answer to this.
Chase Daniel.
State champion Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He's going to make. He said he's going to make.
Am I allowed to say Taysom Hill?
I mean, former.
Yes, you are. Oh, that's true. Well, he's not on the team. Well, he is on the team, I guess. He's interested.
Jameis.
Teddy's good.
Jameis for the jokes.
I think that's probably the best you're gonna get.
I would take Aaron Brooks. Does that count? He started as a
No.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that Jake Haener half.
Luke McCown. One game legend.
McCown almost beat Carolina. That half by Jake Haener. I love sexy Jake, but that was one of the worst halves of football I've ever seen the Saints quarterback play. And I watched both Billy Joes. I watched Werfel.
Who had a worse start, Jake Haener or Ian Book?
Ooh. I don't know. I gotta.
Stats Hall of Famers.
Honestly, I think Haener.
I'm gonna say Haener was worse.
Yeah, I think Haener was worse. And you know what's? Correct me if I'm wrong, but like. It's even worse. You know, the whole situation we saw unfold this Sunday with Haener. It's even worse because Haener all week gets the reps with the first teams, and he's getting the game, like he's being groomed as the starting quarterback. And so not only does you have a guy like Rattler who comes in second half who outplays you just physically. Eye test just watching you, but also doesn't necessarily have the benefit of getting all those reps in practice, which makes it even more.
The reverse was true last time.
Dude,
started.
Ian Book
came in and looked good, which is why he got his chance this time.
Dude, Ian Book's start versus the Dolphins, he looks like Joe Montana compared to poor Haener. Ian Book was 12 of 20 for 135 yards and 2 picks. He got sacked on 29% of his throws. Jake Haener threw for 49 yards, a pick, had a rating of 16.3, and got sacked on 30% of
black. It's the black. There's no way. Like just Jake Haener can't be wearing black. He's. It's too slimming.
I mean,
he's already like too toned and like it's too much.
Yeah. What's next?
He needs like, you know how like vertical stripes thin you out. Jake needs horizontal stripes. He needs like those Pittsburgh Steelers throwbacks. He needs the Bumblebee Pittsburgh Steeler, to thicken him up. What are those Bumblebee Pittsburgh Steeler uniforms? He needs something with horizontal stripes. Thick, chunky stripes. That's what we call them in the business.
Please, Steelers, take them off our hands.
All right. What's next? What's next, Thomas?
Okay, so I had a question lined up from Nikolai about
Russell Wilson. Would you take Russell Wilson right now?
No,
I would. No, I want to see. I want to see.
Would you take Russell Wilson right now?
No, I want to see Rattler.
Maybe.
Let Russ cook.
Let him cook. He's cooking.
What's next, Thomas?
Okay, next question from Saints Rabbit. He asks, no matter who is the coach in 2025, which position coaches or coordinators are non-negotiable firings for you?
Ooh, good question.
That's a good question.
Okay, so here's the deal. So honestly, like Rizzi is non-negotiable special teams firing for me. Like we got to keep him for special teams. And so what's the deal with that now? If he doesn't become head coach, they bring somebody else in. Is Rizzi gone? Is the new guy brings in his own people?
I don't know.
Yeah. Is Rizzi gone? I mean, like you can't get rid of Rizzi. That's non-negotiable. The Rizzi field goal force field is in full effect right now.
I would think that a new head coach is going to feel weird about having Rizzi on the staff.
Yeah.
Right. Bringing him back as a position coach who was formerly the head coach.
Yeah, because
you don't want to be cucked. You're gonna feel like a cuck.
Yeah, because
you can't have Rizzi.
Because here's the thing,
Rizzi's a cuck. Rizzi's gonna be a cuck.
Rizzi wanted the job. The Saints did keep an interim coach when Mora quit / fired, whatever, after coulda, shoulda, would, or after diddly poo, right? They made Rick Venturi the interim coach. And they kept him through Ditka, and he stayed through Hazlitt. Like for a while, like Rick Venturi was like the longest tenured assistant coach in Saints history, I think. But he never, when he was interim coach under Moore, like there was never any like, hey, maybe Venturi can turn it around and win the job. Like it was just like, hey man, you're just here to like,
you gotta fall on the sword. Yeah,
you gotta fall on the sword. You get the nice office.
Venturi was like Carmichael in the sense that like personality wise, like I don't think Venturi. I mean, look, I'm sure he would prefer to be a head coach, but I don't know that he had ambition the way Rizzi wants to be an NFL head coach. Well,
Venturi had been a failed head coach before, like 2 or 3 times.
Right.
So, I think it's completely different. Ken02 says Rizzi will have the new coach kneecapped. So I would say this. I would say I know the offensive line has been bad for the Saints, but I feel like they've done a really good job on the offensive line, considering everything with Derek Carr. They've kept sacks down and that sort of thing. I don't know that it's non-negotiable though, but I think if you keep the offensive line coach staff, that I'd prefer that. But anyone else, they can get going. What's next, Thomas?
That was the final question.
All right. So, thank you guys. All right, it's time for game predictions. Thomas, put it up. What do we got from last week?
Let's look at the results. So only you, Ralph, predicted the Saints to win.
You certainly lost points. Wait, how come Ralph didn't lose points for that?
I mean, you get 0 points for not predicting correctly. I mean, maybe we'll change it next season, man. Dave chose Jake Haney, by the way. Minus 2 points for that. And Kevin, being the only person to pick a defensive player, netted him 2 points.
Oh no, This is not. I lost. Oh my God, am I going to be in last place? Oh my God, this is not good for me.
That's what that means.
Yeah. Let's have
this was a tight race, and I'm the only one that came out with negative points this week.
I gotta
say, oh no,
Dave in the last place.
Dave is coming up the rear.
No,
12 points only.
You're up, Dave.
Oh my God,
Dave.
Suck on this, bitch.
Oh my God.
Suck on this, bitch.
Well, for those listening at home, give them the recap. Give them the point.
Andrew's
recap.
at 28. I'm at Andrew's at 28. First place. Kevin's second with 16. I'm somehow third now with 15, and you are last with 12.
That's my problem. My problem is that you are ahead of me.
That's right.
Problem.
It's disgraceful.
All right. I still got.
This feels a little bit. I just want to say this competition. It feels a little bit like Usain Bolt in his prime, running the 100-meter dash, and
were you just running away with it? Running away with it.
He's like a full 7 strides. Like he's even like
it's
like the gold. He's like racing for the gold medal, and like the last 20 meters, you see him kind of like throttle down and he's already like kind of hot dogging and pointing at the crowd before he's even crossed the finish line. That's kind of what's happening here.
Usain Bolt never showed up late for a race, Andrew. Just I'm clear.
Damn.
Oh God, no, that one got me. I'm certainly feeling a little more confident now. You just jinxed the fucking shit out of yourself. I can't believe you said all that.
I know.
Yeah, no, that's great. I was just
Really
letting you. I just every word you just said there was just you digging deeper and deeper the hole. So fine. All right, I'm looking up what I told our wonderful producer Tomas.
Yeah.
But I'm looking it up. I've got it. What I do know is that there is just absolutely no way in hell that the Saints are going to win this game. It's in Green Bay. The Packers are home. Packers have been playing pretty well as of late. I just watched them play. Who did they just beat?
Seattle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Monday night. Yeah, they just played on Monday night. So they'll be coming off a short.
25% chance of snow.
Yeah. This is brutal. Yeah, they're coming off a short week because they just beat Seattle Monday night. I was watching.
Sunday night.
Was that? No, that was Sunday night. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so a short-ish week.
Yeah.
But no, they're looking good. There's no way the Saints. I don't think just talent-wise, I don't think we match up. And again, being away, regardless of who's starting at quarterback, Rattler, I don't think it matters. I mean, I'm pulling for Rattler. I like Rattler. Rattler is the most exciting option. He keeps things exciting, keeps me interested, but I don't necessarily think they're going to win. I'm going to go with score. I think if the weather is not great as they're saying it is, I think score might be a little bit lower. So I'm going to go with Packers 20, Saints 13.
Oh, wow. The Packers are favored by 13.5, by the way.
I understand that. I think we might cover that. I think we might. That seems 13.5 seems like a lot, but we'll see. And I am going with. I have not taken him, and while he's still healthy, I was going to get him in last week, but I thought Jake Haener was going to save me, so I saved it. So this week I'm going to go with Kendre Miller while he's still healthy.
Oh wow! Yeah,
get me a little Kendre action.
Get that Kendre action in before Christmas.
That's what I'm saying. Gotta get it in.
All right, so it's my turn. People were enraged at me on the Discord when Valdez-Scantling got the wind knocked out of him, and I predicted last week that he would have 180 yards and four catches and 2 touchdowns, but get injured because the Saints have to sacrifice someone every week to the injury gods. Listen, I don't want any Saints player to get hurt, but it's a fact. Like every week, someone must be sacrificed. Last week, it was Kamara. Like someone's going to get hurt. Like that's just how it goes. Green Bay is a 13.5 point favorite. They run the ball. They have one of the best, most complex, most fun running attacks in the NFL. They're going to road grate the Saints on Monday night. But I will say this, guys, we really need to enjoy this Monday night game, because this is probably going to be the last Monday night football game for the Saints for a little bit of time. I don't think they're going to be on next year. So, enjoy the festivities and pageantry of Monday night football.
That's a good point. Well, you know what? It's too early to say that. You never know what happens in the offseason. If they make some big hire at head coach or something, you never know.
Yeah, maybe if they hired Vrabel or something. I think I said 27-10. Did I? Thomas, was that it?
Yep.
Yeah, 27.
You got the Packers covering.
Yeah, I got the Pack. Like this is gonna be like the Denver game, where it might be 13-3 at halftime or whatever, but you're gonna be like, the Saints can play all night and they ain't scoring. Like it's just gonna be dreadful, because I just think the Saints have proven, and this isn't an indictment of Spencer Rattler necessarily, because I just look at the Saints. Their offensive line hasn't played well on the road since the Atlanta game. So bad offensive lines don't travel. Green Bay is good.
I thought you were gonna say 2019.
Maybe. The only thing that might be in the Saints' favor is Green Bay is in the weird spot of they're 10-4. They're going to the playoffs, They're not winning the division. They're not getting a bye. They're going on the road in the playoffs. Green Bay may not be very interested as much as they would be if they were like fighting for the division title. So they might catch Green Bay sort of.
Well, wait a minute. So if they're not fighting for the division title, that means they're fighting for a wild card spot, right?
Not really. They're locked in.
Not really. They're kind of got that locked in because their record.
It's locked in. I get, and the thing is, they're not catching.
Jesus.
They're not like Minnesota or Detroit's going to be the 5 seed. So Green Bay is pretty much locked in. They're going to be the 6 seed, and they're going to be playing the NFC West winner. Like that's what they're doing. So like I don't know. Like the Saints might be catching them asleep, but I don't think so. Thomas, put the player. I have no idea. Did I even pick the player?
You didn't. You didn't send me the player of the week.
Here's the thing.
I mean, I can put like OG if you want. You know.
No, I'm gonna go Juwan Johnson. He should have caught the 2-point conversion.
You already picked Juwan Johnson.
Jesus. What about Kevin Austin Jr.?
Should be fine.
All right, I pick him.
All right. Kevin Austin Jr. it is.
All right, so now it's Kevin. Who did Kevin pick?
As always,
I'm gonna guess he went with the Packers as well. I think we're gonna have chalk this week.
That is correct, Andrew. And his play of the game.
He has the Packers covering 30-13, 17-point win for the Packers.
And his player of the game, Saints player of the game, wisely is
Wisely, you say that now.
Spencer Rattler.
Oh, wow, he's going
yeah.
Well, I would have picked him, but I couldn't pick him because I already picked him.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes, I know.
You did. Dave picked like every Saints quarterback this season, and he is last.
Yeah.
Nice.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he picked every Saints quarterback. That explains
At the
why
wrong
he's doing
time.
so
I
bad.
picked him at the wrong time.
Saints quarterbacks suck. I made a mistake last week in picking the Commandos to win by so much, and Rizzi really showed me something, that he can coach these guys up, he can get them motivated, and I think going on the road, frozen tundra, Monday Night Football, he's going to press the right buttons. I've seen enough.
What are you doing?
To believe that Rizzi is going to coach these guys up, and that they're going to play hard. There's no getting around the injuries. There's no getting around the fact that Rattler's starting, but I do think the Saints will cover. Our picks are pretty similar here, but I'm going Packers 27, Saints 17. I think it'll be competitive for a little while. We'll get a little shenanigans that'll give us a little hope that this can be competitive. Alante Taylor is going to have a pick 6, and he's my player of the game.
Here's a question for both of you. Here's a question for both of you. Let's assume that we're right. We're not very much correct on these picks. We've been terrible picking, by the way, all year. But let's just say
except for me.
Let's just say we're correct, right? And the Saints, this game is marginally not really competitive. What do you want to see from Spencer Rattler in the game, Andrew, if they lose 27-17 or whatever the score? What do you want to see from him that's progress from the Washington game, but it doesn't necessarily lead to a Saints win? That would get you, that would make you sort of even more, like, get you sort of, okay, Spencer Rattler, I'm starting to believe. Like, what do you want to see from him Monday?
I would like to see a game so bad with 4 interceptions that they're forced to go back to Kirk Cousins. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about the Saints game. You're talking about Rattler. My bad. Sorry. I was getting excited as I got myself carried away. With Rattler, I mean, yeah, look, on the road in freezing temperatures at Green Bay against a good team, I'm not expecting much, and I'm not going to rake him over the coals if he has a bad game, because that's a tough situation to go into. I mean, like basic stuff, I would love to see him protect the football. So I don't want to see turnovers because that's what gets you beat. So, if he can protect the ball, I think that's an important thing in a game like this. And I would like to see, let's call it like the Saints being 50% or higher on third down. Like I would love to see, and look, I'm not like expecting a rabbit out of a hat if it's 3rd and 14, but like when it's 3rd and 4, when it's 3rd and 3, like make the right reads, throw the ball accurately, move the chains. Like I would love to see him get into a rhythm with the offense where they're getting first down.
My thing is less than 3 combined sacks and turnovers. Like keep the momentum going of not getting sacks and not having turnovers.
If they take less than 3 sacks and turnovers, I think there's a good chance the Saints cover.
Yeah. Man, if the Saints go to Green Bay and win, I'm just going to say, Derek Carr, you might not be done in this town, but you'll want to be done in this town. Because if they go to Green Bay and win and it's Spencer Rattler is prominently involved in them winning, it's fever pitch and it's over for Carr. Like because we'll be clamoring for Rattler the second Derek Carr does something stupid.
Yeah.
When he throws a pick in the red zone or whatever, we'll be like, get Rattler in the game.
Right. Well, none of us here on this podcast are predicting the Saints to win, so that's all a moot point.
Yeah. So we'll see. Thomas, recap the everyone that donated on the show.
Not enough. Not enough. We didn't get to the second one.
Unfortunately, we didn't. But we are on a 71-week donation streak. We read the first goal. Thanks to Budrich, thanks to Jason Champagne, to Wendell Cavalier, to Oppenheimer, to Hudat Golfer, and to the MVP with 28.3 Buckaroos. I think for the first time ever. Who is? The one and only Terrory, congratulations!
DM Thomas, you can do the whiteboard. I did a bad job. I got everything discombobulated tonight. This was the whiteboard from last week. Jake, rattle, and roll to come up short. It was sad.
From Oppenheimer.
From Oppenheimer. Thank you, Oppenheimer. I did a poor job of rearrange. I'll rearrange everything next week. I promise. And by the way, the MVP winner, you get this shipped to the address of your choice. Classic.
That is straight from Ralph's mother's living room.
That's right.
Thank you guys for donating so much.
That's right. So before we end the show, we got a new quick segment. We call it. We do, Dave. And I forgot to tell you about this in the pregame.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So, but this is courtesy of Andrew. It's a new segment. It's called the Random Saint of the Week. This is where we end the show dropping the name of a random saint, and everybody gets 15 seconds to react to it. This week's Random Saint of the Week.
This is
Mitch Berger. He was fat and ate Snickers during games. Andrew.
Yeah, well, the video here has him in a Vikings jersey. I remember him as a. I remember him.
What's up with that?
That's all we could find.
As a punter and a kickoff guy, so he was like Morstead before Morstead.
Yeah, and this was. I remember this. This was like This is 07. This was like 0201, right?
Yeah. He has
Snickers. He's got a Snickers bar in his shoe. It looks like.
That's right.
There it is. Oh, there it is.
That's why he's in the Vikings jersey.
I don't know what year this is from Minnesota, but when he was with us, he was with us like 03, 02, 03, 04, right?
Fat. Yeah, that's a good random saint. So yeah, Dave, we will rotate this, and every week, you'll get a chance.
Oh, I don't have to come up with somebody now.
Not today, but
oh, okay.
Next week,
I already got one.
The random saint, and you'll have 15 seconds to talk about them. My quick Mitch Berger story is that years ago when I used to blog and I used to write for Saints Nation, I did like top 100 all-time Saints, and I think I had Mitch Berger at like 94 because he made one Pro Bowl. And I was the series was in the off season, so I did like one a day, and I would tag them. And Mitch Berger wrote me back. I think it was on Twitter. And he was like, I made the top 100 Saints all time. Hell yeah. What number did I get?
way.
And
No
I was like kind of
Oh my
embarrassed to
God.
be like, yeah, dude, you were 93 or whatever. Like it was just super low. And he's like, that's okay. That's amazing. He was, of all the Saints that I tagged, like I think he was the only one that responded. And
He's like, I'm so happy I'm going to eat a Snickers.
yeah.
Well, that is a heartwarming story that he thought a little a young handicapped child writing about him ranked him in the top 100. That's really nice.
When did Andrew lose an arm?
Why? My question is can we go back to the footage? Go back to the footage.
That's a great random Saint. Good job, Ralph. Mitch Berger's a solid choice.
Which, by the way, thank you for finding footage of the random Saint. Thank you for finding footage of him not on the Saints. Yes, great job there. I love that. But what I want to know is top left of your screen coming out here right now. What is that? What was that? What is that? Rewind.
It's the Fox
I'm
robot?
assuming. No. I'm assuming this was some kind of.
Thomas lifted this from like some YouTube channel, and it's probably like some weird.
Top left, right now. Boom, right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Stop. Okay.
He's got a toilet plunger.
Yeah. So I'm thinking this is on Fox. I am thinking this is a cross-promotional thing. Fox had a show coming out. I'm thinking like Chris Rock. Did Chris Rock have a show? Where
Everybody Hates Chris, but that wasn't an animated show.
Was that okay? Did somebody have a show where they were like, so he's got the plunger, and he's got overalls, and I feel like there was some kind of cartoon show on Fox that came out, and again, this is the early 2000s, Mitch Berger, where they're a what do you call that? The person who's a superintendent of the building or whatever.
Yeah. Everybody hates
whoever that guy is. I want to know who that.
The janitor.
Yeah.
Terry, the linebacker, Terry whatever.
Terry O'Neill.
Wow. So anyway, who is that guy right there? Can we do a reverse? Do this. Enhance, Thomas. Do a reverse.
The PJs, Dave.
Google
That's what people are
image.
saying is the PJs.
Oh, the PJs. That's yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
the PJs.
So
who was that? The PJs? That was
the dad, Eddie Murray.
No, it was
15 seconds, Rob, huh?
Yeah, I said 15 seconds, and I'm
really starting to regret it.
I knew it was gonna end like this, man.
We've got to workshop it.
Yeah,
we got to workshop it.
Jesus.
So
thanks to be quick, Dave.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Let's enhance. Let's reverse Google search. Let's read his Wikipedia, man.
If you enjoyed the show and we made you laugh,
I got mine for next week.
Consider supporting us. Go to patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour. Click the link in the chat to get your free subscription courtesy of Hard Eyed Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey. Give us a shot. Every little bit helps make the show better. Don't forget to follow us on social medias wherever you get your podcast. Thanks to Dave, Andrew, Thomas, the best producer on earth, for running the show back and forth. He's going to murder me after this show. Until next time, the bar is closed.